Alright, today we're going to replace our coolant tees, and I'll just go over the tools that we're going to need to do this job. So I got plastic tees. You can get these in metal. If you get them in metal, I strongly suggest you get aluminum. I got plastic. They've lasted 16 years, so I'm just going to replace with OEM components. I got the 6 hoses associated with this, with these tees. You may not need to replace them. I just go ahead and do it as preventative maintenance. Gloves, razor blades, a funnel, rags, coolant. I got concentrated coolant. You can mix it 50-50, or you can use a device like this. This is a refractometer, and it gives you the actual dilution level of the coolant. It's pretty handy. It's cheap, eBay tool. Rags. At the very least, you're going to probably want angled pliers to get at the clamps that hold the tees on, or you can spring for a cable-operated hose clamp plier tool, and then you can get it individually, or you can get it in a kit. I got a 9-piece kit. The other tool that you're going to need, you don't need it, but I'm going to use it, is a fluid evacuator, but that's it. So pretty easy, not too much to this job. We're gonna make sure the vehicle is cooled off, and we're gonna open the radiator cap. So if you don't have a coolant extractor, you can come under the front of the vehicle, use a screwdriver to stick into this slot here and remove this access cover. Looking up into the access port, here's the thumb screw. You just loosen this, coolant will start to come out of this nozzle here. You can use a tube and put it on the nozzle and have it discharge into a gallon container. When you remove 1 gallon of coolant, you can pull off all the hoses for the coolant tees and not spill any coolant. Now we're going to turn our attention to the coolant tees. If you're just replacing the plastic and you're not going to replace the hoses, I'm going to recommend that you save yourself a little bit of heartache, and you go ahead and remove the hoses with the tees, and then disassemble the tees from the hoses off of the vehicle, because what's going to happen is those are going to break, and they're going to drop plastic pieces into your coolant system, and you're going to either be fishing them out, or you're going to have to leave them in there. So it's just easier to go ahead and pull all the hoses off and disassemble it on a bench, and then go ahead and put the new tees in. So to actually get at the hose clamps, I'm going to go ahead and use the cable tool. I haven't used this too much before, so I'm going to be a little bit clumsy with it, but even with the tool, there's still times that it's not going to be able to fit, like this one in particular. Let me just do it by hand. I'm going to go ahead and remove this little clip without breaking it. So we got all 6 hose clamps off. We're going to go ahead and remove these hoses. Alright, so now you got the clamps off, and you got to get the hoses off. You got a couple options. If you're going to replace this hose, you can take a razor blade and cut. Or you can take a radiator hose removal tool, and you can stick it underneath between the pipe and the hose, and you just kind of want to walk it around the diameter of the hose, and then you should be able to spin the hose and it should unstick itself from the actual fitting it's attached to. So we'll try and do it clean first, but since I have hoses, I'm not too worried about cutting this stuff. There we go. See how it spins now on the fitting? You should be able to pull this right up. With the first set of hoses removed, you just go ahead and get the second set out. And you may need to get a screwdriver in the slit that you've made and unwrap the hose from the fitting itself to get it unstuck. We got a small little pile of rags in here, and we're just gonna, if there's any coolant, we're gonna let it bleed out the slit, so that way it's in a controlled manner, and we can capture most of it with the rags instead of a deluge. There's not much here, so good deal. Alright, now we're going to take these hoses and bring them back to the bench and build the new assembly. So here's the rightermost assembly, and this is the leftmost assembly. So now with our fittings back on our bench, we're going to go ahead and take our kit of parts and assemble these to match the same way. Use some lubricant here, which is just the coolant, so everything slides together nice and easy. See, this is why we match everything up. I almost got these two switched around. And then what we're going to do here is we're just going to orientate the clamps all the same way, and we're going to make sure the hoses are all pointed in the same direction, and the fit will be perfect. Taking a look at these clamps, just go ahead and make them the same way. You don't want to put the clamp on the ridge, and the ridge is from this, because you'll crush the hose, and the clamp can actually cut the hose right there if it's too close. So we want to give that little ridge a little bit of space and make sure we're firmly seated on and we have a little bit of meat of the hose left on the far side of the clamp as well. The fat clamps go on the two outer hoses, and the thin clamp goes on the bottom hose. And we now have both assemblies made on the bench, so we'll go to the engine bay now and start on reassembly. We're going to go ahead and start on the furthest one to the right, and we're going to just fit it in initially over where we're going to install it, and just make sure we like the clamp, and we're checking the hose orientation too, and now is the time to adjust that. With the second set of hoses installed and clamps in place, we're going to go ahead and mix up our coolant. So if you're making your own coolant from concentrate, what I like to do is take a full gallon of water and then have an empty gallon of water. And then what I do is I pour half of this container into the empty, and then I refill this container to where it was initially, so this will give you 50%, and then I take this half a gallon of water and put it into the half full of concentrate, and now I have 2 gallons of 50% concentrate. And what we're going to want to do is put our clip back and put our engine ground back together. Double check all our fittings, any rags that were down there, take those back out. So this is our radiator bucket. It comes with various fittings to attach it to the radiator, and the good thing about this is you can fill it, put the plug back in, and it'll hold the fluid, and it won't leak everywhere and make a huge mess. So we're going to go ahead and fill this system with new coolant. We've filled this up until there's fluid in there, and then we're going to want to burp the coolant system by squeezing this hose to try and get out any remaining air bubbles that are in the system. And that looks pretty good, so we're going to go ahead and stick the spike in and remove the bucket. And then we remove the cap, put our standard radiator cap back in. So we're just going to make sure all our tools are away and off of the vehicle, and every last little thing's buttoned up, and then we're going to go ahead and fire it up. With the coolant system completely filled, We turn the engine on, we turn the heat on the front to full high, and also the rear AC, we turn the temperature there full hot and the fan on high. And we let this run and we full cycle until the coolant temperature reaches its normal operating temperature. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fill the overflow bottle. Now that we've verified that we have good heat coming out of all the vents, coolant temperature needle is in the normal operating range, we're going to go ahead and open this and we're going to fill this to the full line, and then this job will be complete. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments, put them in the comment section. Please subscribe, and here's a link to another video that I've done. But thanks guys, appreciate it.